Okay, we're back, episode 392 of TrueHouse stream, TrueHouse live stream, TrueHouse with me, your ever so slightly deranged, odd, awkward, weird. I'd never call myself eccentric. Anyway, I'm Justin House, your host. Day 498 for me in terms of lockdown. I've been doing this quite a while, and like I say, it's episode 392. Let's talk, as per my recent posts. What I do, I tend to post in the daytime, invariably on Instagram. Try to steer clear of the madness, the toxicity of Twitter. It's a real dangerous stomping ground, you know, Twitter. It's just so... it really is. Oh, actually, let me get this mic a bit better. It really is, guys. It's the Twitter thing is pretty freaking vile. Fortunately, I've managed to swerve it quite a bit. Wow, nice. That's a new addition there. Look at that little spot. Yeah. I understand people getting the hell out of Dodge, you know, exit stage left when it comes to Twitter. And one of the aspects of social media that I've been calling it social media, and I'm going to speak tonight about a few subjects, if that's cool. One of them is to put it bluntly, the Napoleonic or Napoleon syndrome. I look at someone like Jeff Bezos, and of course he's got a couple of 100 billion easily, and you know, he's got altitude now because he's gone up in the air pretty high, from what I understand. But one thing that money won't buy him is height. I'm pretty keen on high power, and if you don't know me well enough by now, then you never will. I'm taking the piss, of course. I'm just being silly. But I'm 6'5". I don't know what that is in centimetres. Hey Google, what's 6'5" in centimetres?
6.41666666667 feet is equal to 195.58 centimeters.
But I asked for, okay, let's try again. All right, hey Google, what is 196 centimetres in feet and inches?
196 centimeters is 6 feet 5.165 inches.
Well, there you go. Okay, only when I saw 195, 196 on the screen did I go, oh, okay, 198 is really tall, so I'm less than 198. So I'm 6'5". Anyway, my point being, I'm not Jeff Bezos is 5'7". Hey Google, how tall is Jeff Bezos?
Jeff Bezos is 1.71 meters tall.
Hey Google, what's 1.71 meters in feet and inches?
1.71 meters is equivalent to 5 feet 7.323 inches.
Bummer, Jeff, bummer. So he's 5'7". Now look, Rogan's little as well. Okay, I got friends that are, you know, Lilliputians and little and, you know, hobbits, dwarfs, call them what you like. But I like Rogan. I enjoy Rogan. And Bezos looks little, you know. It's funny, isn't it? This huge... I wonder, because I've titled tonight's stream Shorter Leads, and there's a double whammy because it's a little note to myself. God, Justin, speak slowly, speak clearly. I'm not enunciating my words properly. My cadence, I tend to gabble. I don't know. I need to clean up my words the way that it's imperative. I've learned and am learning all the time that physically what I say, it needs to sound okay. It's, you know, it's not going to be, I'm not going to be word perfect and letter perfect all the time. I'm very, very flawed. I'll often cock up my words royally, but yeah, it makes you, when you're live streaming, which this is what I'm doing. It's an exercise, actually. It's an exercise in discipline, because even though you're like yeah talking, you're also trying to not. It's not about trying to sound cool. It's about, I'm just sharing this with you because why not? It's about trying to be understood, so you're conveying something in a lucid, you know, how to elucidate, how to eloquently convey something in a relatively curated / edited fashion. Not a mile a minute, a million miles, whatever, but also there is a degree of curation there, because, and I don't mean self-censorship, I mean just trimming the fat, Justin, trimming the fat. It's very easy for me and typical of me to go off half cock, as my late father would have said, you know, just gone off half cock. What would they say now? You know, swinging for the fences, just to tear into it, and just to slow down the pace of the words and therefore the thought process, because, you know, it's just, yeah, it's quite, I don't know. I just think it's important to enunciate and to pronounce your words to the best of your ability on any given day, at any given time. Right, moving on. So, I had a little moan about my own voice and my cadence and my speech patterns and the way I speak. Moaning, having a little bitch about short elites. I don't think Zuckerberg's that tiny, but I did see Sun Valley the other day, which is by all accounts the new Davos. You know, when you read, as we all have done, seen clips on YouTube about the Davos. I believe that's the town, isn't it? Hey Google, where is Davos, Switzerland?
Here's a map of Davos, Switzerland.
Okay, so it's a little town in Switzerland, which is where these elites have been gathering, and now they've gone to Sun Valley, California. I just find it funny, well, funny not funny, that these events aren't really publicised. It's not as if the powers, you know, the Tim Cooks and the Bezoses and Zuckerbergs and what's that, Sheryl Sandberg, you know, CEO of YouTube, Facebook, you know, they're all like, yeah, let's tell the world where we're going. Quite the reverse, really. I think quite the opposite. They're kind of somewhat covert, aren't they? It's a little bit. It seems to be like a bit of a ninja mission to me. They're a bit. Not cloak and dagger. I can't think of the word. Shit. Not ninja, not sub, not cloak and dagger. Anyway, I can't think of the word. This is often what happens to me when I'm streaming. I can't think of the word at all that I'm trying to use to describe this sort of covert operation which they do and have done at Davos, and now it's at Sun Valley. What's the damn word? So if I think too much, I'll crash it, so I can't. I must let it go. But if I blurt it out Tourette style in the next 30 seconds, you'll know why. That's really freaking annoyed me. Don't get hung up on it, Justin. Don't do it. Okay. So, what's going on? What's going on when we have got a collection, a very small group of people that do pull the strings politically, socially, the so-called technocracy? This is an ongoing subject because it is a covert mission. It's all very, you know, heavily under wraps, and on the occasion when you do see a brave reporter thrusting a camera in front of Zuckerberg or whoever, it's just, you see the degree of contempt. It's quite palpable when you see a grinning, very false, face on someone like a Tim Cook. When someone does get relatively close with a camera, Mr. Cook, oh hello Tim, nice to see you here. What are you doing here? And they know damn well that they're just literally they're not there for anything other than an extension, a wealth. I'm really struggling getting the words out. Growth, for want of a. This is quite poor for me actually. Just struggling to find the necessary words to describe what I'm trying to convey. Anyway, I shall battle on and do my best. God, I want to. Anyway, how annoying, how embarrassing, how annoying. Okay, I'm blanking on language, I'm blanking on words to describe the scene. Certainly words that I would be writing in terms of description, but these apparent meetings are almost seem to be cloaked in mysticism. They seem to be, like I say, that again, these aren't the words I'm looking for. These aren't the droids you're looking for, but they are clandestine. They are just. There's something going on. There's something damn well going on with the air quotes powers that be. And look, the issue is, and we're all painfully aware of this, is it, God, this is so annoying because I feel powerless if I do as a layman, as a civilian. I'm not high up in the army or the police force or politics. I'm not a household name. I suppose if you were, the overarching point I'm trying to make, what I'm struggling to get to grips with tonight is to be adequately descriptive, to say to you, hey, what the fuck is going on when our UK press and the American channels, media, social network, behemoths, whether it's a Dorsey at Twitter and a Zuckerberg at Insta and Facebook and Susan Wojcicki at YouTube, and the list goes on. They have this clout, they have this power. What are they selling? They're selling status, desirability, things, rep. I don't know. I just. It's a funny one, guys. And not only are these people short often in stature, look, I would be less bothered if these people were a bit more Xerxes. Remember the film 300 with Jerry Butler? This is Sparta. Terrible, terrible, terrible impression. I'm not going to try a second time. But the messenger from Xerxes, and he basically, Jerry Butler, who plays the part of King Leonidas, again, apologies if I'm blanking on memories, basically front teeps him, albeit with a sort of a flat part of the shoe, foot, whatever. It was a front teep of sorts. And that wonderful scene where the messenger for the, I don't know, just that. I remember watching 300 when it came out. Slight tangent, but it'll explain the Xerxes point I'm trying to use here. the tall, athletic, muscular, and pretty sort of sexy, really, towering, looming figure of Xerxes in 300. Neil. Made me think of Neil before Zod in Superman. But are we not at a time of, a time of global, there seems to be so much diversion. For reasons I can't explain, I'm finding this stream very hard to get my point across. Normally I'm able to just go, but I don't know, man. I'll post it anyway. I'll put it on YouTube and Instagram and hope for the best. But yeah, hey, I apologise. This is not a good stream. I'm not on form. However, I'm going to keep forging on in the hope that something gives. But there's so many, again, I'm now filling in the next word, trope, I guess. Trope is archetypes. Hey Google, what is trope?
Here's the definition of trope. A figurative or metaphorical use of a word or expression.
Thank you. There you go. It's trope. Lots of filmic tropes. Just seems to be absolutely bonkers. Just there's so much, I don't know. I'm struggling with this one. I don't know, maybe I've done too much on that Twitch, but yeah, this is not man, come on, what have I done? When did I start? Anyway, look, I'll keep playing hopscotch between Twitch and YouTube. It's been 2 nights of Twitch, and now I'll do 2 nights on YouTube. The Insta is concurrent, but literally, yeah, 392, day 498. 8 episodes until we hit 400. Look, I guess I was prompted to say this, and it's a shitty title to call it. I was going to call it Stumpy Elites, but the short elites, because I looked at Dorsey with accompanying friend and Sheryl Sandberg and Zuckerberg, and I think it was someone awful like Brian Stelter from CNN, and it's very, lights, camera, action. You've got this glorious California. In fact, where is it? Hey Google, where is Sun Valley?
Here's a map of Sun Valley, Idaho, 83353, USA.
Okay, it's Idaho, so it's not, I thought it was California. Silly me, it's naive of me, but I only lived 8 miles from the valley. The valley, it's funny actually, when you're in Los Angeles, if you live in the valley, it's almost a pejorative, it's almost, a derogatory statement. Oh, you're in the valley, man. The San Bernardino Mountains and the San Fernando. Oh my God, I can't even say it. San Bernardino Mountains, San Fernando Valley. Sorry, but that's where I thought they had gone to some. But look, is there a replacement for Davos? That's my entire point. So the last however many years we had the Bloomberg conference with these elites assembling at Davos, which is obviously a town in Switzerland, and it's more than a little bit interesting when you've got tech elites with presidents and prime ministers VPs and CEOs, heads of banks, international arms dealers, and princes. You know, so you've got the Saudi aspect, and you've got our British politicians, you know, obviously Boris, etc., mingling with our social media usual suspects. You know, you obviously Sandberg and Zuckerberg representing Facebook, Insta, and Dorsey +1 from Twitter, Susan Wojcicki +1 from YouTube, Tim Cook +1 from Apple. Who else was there? And this is all this week. Sundar Pichai, Google, of course. And they're literally, I tell you what, who did a far better job was Russell Brand. I saw a clip with Russell Brand. I do like Russell actually a great deal. He made a very funny comment about the gilets, you know, the body warmers, you know, all these, you know, your Tim Cooks, they're in the sunlight. And it's almost like a uniform. And anyway, Russell Brand did a great delivery, far better than what I'm trying. And it was like just tight tops with these gilets on. You know, that's obviously the proper term, isn't it? I used to rock those when I was a kid. Body warmers. But it's blazing sun, you're in a North Face. You know, well, they probably wouldn't use something like North Face, it's too cheap, isn't it? Even though I find North Face expensive. Just give me bloody, God, where did I used to buy gilets from? Oh my God, what's that sports shop called? JD. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so look, I'm doing a dog shit job, but I'll get this out. I will persevere. This is a terrible stream. So whether it's what got me going on this, it was seeing Bezos and brother, who got another government subsidy to the tune, again, depending on who's reporting, 10 to 16 billion extra subsidised grant, loan, you know, from our UK/US government, plural, saying to Bezos, you know, your global workforce, I think the Amazon global workforce is 1.2 million. I know, I was telling this to someone the other day, I know, come on Justin, I know Bezos can give a monetary gift of, I think it's 43 or 47,000 pounds, and it is pounds, to every single employee, and not be any worse off. In other words, the exorbitant profit from, I think it's from the 12th of Jan 2020. That's it. The report I saw around 12th of Jan 2020 to 12th of Jan 2021 this year. I think the report came out on the 21st, because the 2 and 1 is in my head. And I'm not, you know, I'm one of many that mention this, but you realise that Bezos, at well over 200 billion, just far better off because of the pandemic. Yeah. So now Sun Valley is the new Davos. It took me a while to get there. It's mad. There's the short elites. Crazy. It's crazy. What have I got? What have I done on time? 28, 30 minutes. Ah. You wave to Lee. Oh, it's not. I don't know. I can't ever do it. Terrible at trying to. Oh well. I clicked it. Hope you're good, buddy. Hope you're good. Yeah, let's have a bit of water. Hopefully that'll help me. I'm going to, like I said, this new format, I'll keep my own monologues down to 35, 45 minutes. And when it's someone coming on screen, then we just go with the long form. We'll keep it going. Twitch was easier than I thought. Twitch was not the drama that I thought it was. In fact, do you know what? In terms of what do they call it? Not requirements, entry, access fee, entry, a lot easier than YouTube, a lot easier than YouTube. For example, the biggest one being, no minimum subs or followers required. There was no bloody gatekeeping with Twitch. There was no, you need your, minimum 1,000 subs before you show your face here. At least Twitch just let me do it. Yeah, that was good. I mean, I'd have to look actually. What is my actual TrueHouse channel? 2.41. So 2,400 subscribers on TrueHouse stream. Okay, that thumbnail's alright. That tonight's thumbnail's okay. Alright, that's not. Yeah. And what are the thumbnails like on Twitch? Has it even uploaded last night's? That really annoyed me. I had to call Twitch Justin TrueHouse. I've got to wait 25 days before I can put it as TrueHouse. Justin TrueHouse sounds like Justin Trudeau. My channel. Oh God, that's awful. 390. Where's 391? Oh no, have I not done? I don't think I've uploaded last night's videos. Dedicated and determined to discuss truth, unedited, unwoke. Live stream, Monday to Friday. Okay. Justin TrueHouse. It's too close to Justin Trudeau. Anyway, I'm sort of like half asleep. I've got a hand up here and lights are okay, but I just look like a complete prick. Oh well, I must keep the speedy response with the. That's what I did last night. That's what I wanted to get off my chest tonight. I was watching, that's now, let me finish on this because this is something I really want to talk about. Good, I'm glad it's come in my head because I was really hating this stream. There's an American journalist who I'm a huge fan of, really for the last 5, possibly 6 years. This woman's called Abby Martin, no E-Y, just Y, A-B-B-Y, and Martin spelled as you'd think it would, M-A-R-T-I-N. So, Abby Martin. I listened to her podcast, which, oh my God, I'm blanking on her podcast. But anyway, she has got some balls. She's got, God, my eyesight. Oh, right, thank you. I just had to think what cracks meant. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Abby Martin has got this. Abby Martin has got balls, I mean this as a metaphor, balls of steel. She has been filming, I downloaded her free documentary about Gaza, about the Palestinian-Israel conflict, which has been going since 1947, 1948, and again, when I was a wee lad, when I was born, I think 72, 76, but the point being, there are a couple of dates where, when you hear about the Gaza Bank and Palestine and, Hamas, Palestine evil, Israel good, well, things aren't as they seem. This is the crazy thing. I, like everyone else, presumed that the Palestinian versus Israel conflict was all about evil Palestinians because Hamas, the terror organisation Hamas, which is actually, if we're going to draw some comparisons, is no different domestically. No, this is just my tuppence worth, but I did notice a resemblance, more than a passing resemblance. When I was a kid, obviously we're talking 1978, 1980, when I was 6, 8, 10, we had two channels, BBC One, BBC Two. And then when I hit about 10, we got a third channel in the UK, and it was called ITV. And then when I hit about 13, yeah, we sort of got the Channel 4. So the point is, just like Russian television, or what they might have in various parts of not North Korea, but people that don't have great options, this our domestic, what's the word for it? What do they call it in Northern Ireland? The troubles, the struggles, the troubles. So our domestic violence scene, albeit Protestant and Catholic, struggle in Ireland, and I knew several chaps, sort of 8, 10, 12 years my senior, who not only fought in the Falklands but also did their several tours in Northern Ireland. This is all through the gym industry. You know, when I was involved in the industry, specifically the 90s, you know, I would be in the company of men, my senior 8. This is going somewhere. This goes back to Abbey Martin and the Gaza Strip and the Israel-Palestine conflict. You know, and you know, Zionists, and you know, anti-Semitic sentiments, and the policies and politics that thereof. Anyway, the way things are screened, the way things are presented, the way things are, what is perpetuated, what is given, what's the narrative. So when I was a kid, Northern Ireland, the Troubles were, it was told from the purview, the viewpoint, the England good, Ireland bad. You know, at no time was it explained to me when I was a wee lad, hey, our English government, who have got no right to be there, are actually, frankly, with the British soldiers. See, the reason I mention these people that are older than me, because they served in the Falklands, and you know, there's no point in me mentioning names. There's no. I wouldn't. I couldn't. I can't. I shouldn't. But there's no. Anyway, the point is, these are people I knew, and they explained to me that not only were they not welcome, but they shouldn't have been there. And these are people that would have. Gosh, when was? I knew a lovely chap who was based at the SBS, Special Boat Services, here in Poole. And he went to the Falklands, 1980, 81. Yeah, I'd have to. Hey Google, what year was the Falklands invasion?
The Falklands War lasted from the 2nd of April to the 14th of June, 1982.
82, okay, it makes me 10. So there's me saying 80, 81. It's too soon. Okay, well I was born in 72. Okay, so 82, so I'm 10. Okay, I thought I was younger. I thought I was 8. What's a couple of years between friends? Anyway, and I remember this being explained to me from the soldiers' purview, how that's why I mentioned that the reporting, that BBC 1 and 2, that was all we'd ever see. So there's little safe Justin living at home with his parents, age 10. You know, and we had 2 cats, Gandalf and Domino. God, I miss them. They were great cats. Domino was my brother's and Gandalf was mine. Yes, Lord of the Rings fan, of course. In fact, even now, my EE password is Gandalf. I don't care. No one's gonna take what from my account. Yeah, I still use Gandalf as my password. Anyway, I digress. The position from the soldiers was not what it was in terms of reporting on the telly. because as a 10-year-old boy, raised, I would strongly imagine, with a silver spoon in my mouth, a nice home life, a good school, and parents that loved me, and the safety and the sanctity of just a nice middle, middle class, anyway, not posh, but not, whatever, and just total naivety, total protection. And the reason I mention this is because when I was watching Abby Martin, maybe I'm cocking up tonight so bad because I didn't sleep at all last night. I don't know. I maybe got 90 minutes, and this is probably why this is such a shit stream. But I'm sat upright in bed last night watching Abby Martin, and she's being interviewed on Rogan. Now, Rogan, Joseph, has had Abby Martin on, as obviously she's a journalist, probably 4 times, 5 times, and each time she comes on the Joe Rogan experience, Joe Rogan podcast, she's got a real showstopper of a story, So in the past, this most recent one, I say in the past, was about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I then felt, wow, what if this is like the Northern Ireland thing, where there's 2 sides? You've got the politicised, the weaponised and politicised narrative, the narrative spoon-fed to us. Because what do, the public? We used to buy newspapers, but you turn your screens on, however you get your news, and you see a headline about, Northern Ireland's bad, British soldiers are trying to, the conflict, and Protestants and Catholics and murdering and IRA and death and destruction. But, and I'm not defending the actions of the IRA, because they did some truly, truly, truly evil, heinous things. They did. There's plenty of films, from the Guildford, I'm thinking of The Name of the Father with Daniel Day-Lewis, and the Guildford Four, and the IRA bombings, and the nail bombings, and the van bombings, and the pub bombings, and anyway. But this type of struggle, this type of domestic warfare is happening when it's incumbent on the person living in essentially their homeland has an invader also on their homeland who feels it's their right to have. That's mine, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's mine, mate. I'm having it, and we're not going to stop until you're gone. So the reason I've given all that preamble about the memories of the Falklands and Northern Ireland when I was a youth, and the way that through not much media, through only a couple of channels, that got to remember, that's why I checked it. So there I am as a 10-year-old. The only information I'm getting is BBC One, BBC Two, So it's limited, isn't it, in terms of what's going in. Now, I know the opposite is true now. I know the opposite is true because you've got so much information. One could argue we are saturated with sport for choice. But when I see a journalist like Abby Martin, I find her so brave, so interesting, so enthralling, so compelling, so fucking good, actually, so fucking good at her job, that she's got the balls to not only question and confront the mainstream narrative, but to push back. Now, it actually made, to bring it onto the now, hopefully I can turn this stream around, that's 39 minutes. I thought Rogan himself was getting quite squiffy. He was, noticeably a bit like I am now, sort of on the chair, just a little bit like, oh shit, this conversation's a bit, And what I'm trying to say is, I can only imagine. But when you've got a pull, so I'm just checking the plosives on the microphone. It's okay. I'm trying to learn with the whole. This is good because it hasn't got a pop shield. It doesn't need one because it's anyway. I was trying to learn about that interface tonight. I plugged a new lead into it. It is working. I really need to get to grips with these headphones. Anyway, I'm not going to put them on for the sake of it. It's tosser. Anyway, so I think Rogan was getting quite uncomfy with Abby Martin and their friends, by the way. You can see their firm friends in the real world, IRL. You can see that Abby Martin is respected by Joe Rogan and vice versa. There's a lot of mutual respect. And I've got to say, if any of you are even moderately interested in seeing Abby Martin, just look at her on YouTube. She's a pretty attractive woman, actually. But she's got in hot water politically, professionally, journalistically, really, if that's a word, really hot water because she's had the balls, and I mean going up against Putin, yeah? I mean working for RT, it's Russian television. I mean going against the Obama administration and the Biden administration and the Trump administration. This woman, when she reports, because she reports the truth, at any cost. Like, let me be really clear about this. As awful as it would be, I wouldn't be surprised if Abby Martin gets taken out. That's an awful thing to say. That's a terrible thing to say. And I think she's lovely. I think she's very. But literally a couple of months ago, when I downloaded for free Gaza, it's called Gaza Fight for Freedom, okay? Gaza, as in the Gaza Strip. Fight for Freedom. And it's an Abby Martin production, and it will break your bloody heart. I'm telling you, you've got Palestinian kids, and they are kids, like kids. And Israeli people arrive at their house. This is where I'm going to define sick for you. I know it's taken me a long time to get to this sort of wobbly bit, but this is it. This is how bad it is. The American government pay independent contractors, what we would call agent provocateurs. Most of us know what an AP is now. When you see the riots, when you see Black Lives Matter, when you see basically a big white bloke, my stamp, covered in black from head to toe, with a mask on, smashing shop windows but not taking anything, that's what I'm talking about. These are agent provocateurs. It's not a conspiracy, it's a fact. Been going around for many years, but the government provides people to go in there and to basically cause that flashpoint, to basically get a cold situation to go hot. So if it's a riot, if it's a peaceful protest, Black Lives Matter, or it's in Israel, and you're going to get those Palestinians out of their home. Be under no illusion, this is how sick it is. And it's really troubling actually to see this. A Palestinian's home. So mum, dad, 3, 4 kids. And there's a knock at the door, followed by the door being kicked in. And they're being raided and at gunpoint taken from their home. And their house is then, not only are the people just ejected and thrown out on the street, their house is then kidnapped and occupied, their house is overtaken, it's swarmed. So picture, if you will, being sat with your family, being sat with your partner and your children, and there's a knock at the door, or not even a knock, it's just filled in. When the police they ram it, And you are simply overpowered, and you're one man, and you might be armed, you might have a knife, you might have a bat, and you'd fight literally until your last breath. You'd fight to protect your dignity and the lives of your family. You know, let's say you had a couple of kids and a wife, and you literally fought until your dying breath. And that's what's happening. And these people are like, no, fuck you, we're taking your house. And there's footage on YouTube of Israelis going into Palestinians' homes, elderly women, families, whatever, and just going, go on, get. And the most disturbing piece of footage that I saw on Rogan last night, courtesy of Abby Martin, The Empire Files, that's her channel, I think, The Empire Files, was a big burly, chunky bloke who had acquired this house. And as this dear old lady, and I do mean an old lady, was shrieking and hollering and crying and begging and begging and begging, his actual words were, if I don't do it, if I don't take it, someone else will. And proceeded through superior firepower, proceed with just, violence. Because that's the one thing that we don't talk about enough. It's just the ultimate, how can I say it? Not price. Line in the sand. The last line of defense. I'm going to finish this, I'm going to sod off. The last line, that like the buck stops here moment, is when you've got an entity, a force, an army, a power, a thing, personnel, government, army, police, mob, mobsters, gangsters, hooligans, whatever, agent provocateurs, fill in the blank, and they simply, they just take, and it's, you think, no, you can't bang on someone's door and go, I'm having this, but they do. And this is what Abby Martin was telling Rogan, and I did watch her documentary. I did. Abby Martin, Gaza fights for freedom. That was in the summer. Well, and I just watch this woman, Abby Martin. This is where I've got to learn to leave links. I've got to learn to do that. I've got to figure that out in the description. See links in description. And that's why I've mentioned the Northern Ireland thing, to draw a comparison, to demonstrate that if the public are given little to no information, what they don't know won't hurt them. And the same is true with Israel. Why, guys, is the narrative from America and the UK one of Palestinians bad, Israel good? Meanwhile, what is... I'm just struggling. I'm like, whoa. No, I've not got the words. I've not got the words. I can't. But think of a power, think of a government, think of who's got the army, who's got the force. It's crazy, man. There you go. I'm getting tired now. But that's the point I wanted to make. What world... What a world. Yeah, I'm tired now. But, do watch Abby Martin, The Empire Files. It is on Amazon and YouTube. And I just literally went onto my YouTube, not even that, just main I don't know, tired, nodding off on camera. Ultimately, I am attempting, and I know I've done a shit job tonight. It happened, man. Ultimately, we are talking about human to human through force, so forcibly taking. There is no acquisition here. There is no. I just strong, straw man. No, I can't. But there it is. So really, the overarching food for thought scenario is it's fine. I'm done. I know I was going to try another few minutes, but I'm just nodding off now. I'm done. Right, I'm going to bugger off. I'll do Twitch again tomorrow. Same time, same place, same face. Episode 380. No, gosh, sorry, 392 tonight. So 393 tomorrow. 7 away from 400, and day 499 tomorrow. So. Alright, this has been Justin House. This was TrueHouse. I hope you enjoyed it, as dodgy as it was tonight. Thank you for dropping in. Sorry about my low energy, sleepy Joe, No, I'm going, just nodding off. Nodding off on camera. Such a good look. Alright, I'm out. Thank you for tolerating this. Yeah, okay. So tomorrow night I'll be here. I'm back. Good night.